Yo, where's this Redmond, bruv? There he is. Like, out here in the dark and that, bruv.
One sec, lad. My audio's just bugging up. It'll fix itself in like 30 seconds.
Yes, brother. KG, what are you saying, bruv?
Listen, lads, I can't hear what you're saying yet, but you're getting it today, Rants.
You know what, bruv? You know them ones there, bruv. I'm Gordon Ramsay, bruv. You know, like that. It is what it is. Man get cooked around here.
But yeah, lads, man. Sounds like this when you were talking about Henderson.
Hey,
right, bro, is your head still hot from the Henderson thing?
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you a question later. I'm gonna see what you guys' opinions are. When we get to it, I'll ask you both. But yeah, man, now I'm good, man. I'm just it was that weekend, man. I'm just glad there's a game coming up to Wednesday.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm just glad there's another game coming up so soon, man.
Oh, I can imagine, bro. You know what's mad, yeah? Like, that is literally the best antidote, yeah, for a shit performance is just another game as soon as possible.
It's working now, by the way, boys.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, that's what's needed, bro. As soon as possible, man, just need a game. Do you know what I mean? And how are you feeling about that? How you feeling about the performance? Big up everyone inside. We got 400 people there already. I mean, it's going up. How are you feeling about the performance, bro?
No, man, it wasn't acceptable. You know what I mean? There's ways of losing games, and that just wasn't it. You know, West Ham at home, these are the games that we should be getting points from. And it wasn't even, it was 2 set pieces, which we know we're weak on. So, you know, don't give away stupid free kicks when you don't need to. Rodrigo could have equalized at the end, but it was too little too late, man. It was just, you know, it was a perfect away performance by West Ham, you know, being honest. But from our point of view, we didn't show up. But the only thing that's and I'm gonna need a minute on this. The only thing that's bugging me in regards to when we lose in the Premier League is all these poor Merson pundits and everyone alike come out and talk about it's because they're getting tired. It's a lack of energy. We just lost the game because we played badly. It's got nothing to do with that.
Bro, but no other team is allowed to play badly. You know what's funny about your manager?
Yeah.
It's almost like, bruv, these men have got some mad vendetta against your manager for whatever reason. I think it's almost like these British guys want man to fail. Like, that's what it feels like, innit? Like, even when he got nominated for the award, these guys were having a flipping meltdown. And I was just like, bruv, like, it's not that deep, bro.
You want to know what one reason is? And it's mentioned after every time he talks. It's because he don't speak English. Because he's coming out with a translator. There's some of these, you know, these Brexit guys that say,
okay,
how hasn't you learned English yet? They hold it against him. Trust me. But it also comes from. But I will also say as well, it probably comes because of the regard he's held in. So people are holding him to a higher standard. But the fact is, we're going to lose games when it's got nothing to do. That was nothing to do with tiredness. That was just a poor performance. But then you got like idiots like Merson talking as he does. You know, after the Everton game, oh, we're great, we're staying up. Look at the football they played. This game, he's saying if Antonio's playing, we lose 6-1. If you look at the stats, they didn't really have all that much going on. It's just that they were clinical when they took their chances on the set pieces. You know what I mean? It's just the rubbish that just keeps getting started every time we slip up. You know, but we're United of 2020, not 99, 2000. You know, we're not going to win every single game.
But I think that your players know that, though. That's why in my head, like the way the pundits are moving, they don't treat you like a promoted team. But then at the same time, these men are going on like, say, your manager's overrated. But if that's the case, then why don't they just treat you like a newly promoted team?
Yeah, why don't you hold them in lower regard?
Yeah, like why wouldn't you hold them in lower regard, bro? If the manager's not as good as everyone's saying and Leeds are, do you know what I mean? They're a one-trick pony and they're going to get found out. If that's the case, you should be praising them for doing as well as they're doing. Like, they're contradicting themselves, by the way they even talk about your football team in the first place, bro. Because if you rate this Leeds United team, then you have to rate the manager because they got no superstars in their team.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you talk about press adulation, then Calvin Phillips is getting there now, isn't he? You know, he's starting to brand his own stuff now. You know, and this is interesting for me because this is all the things that old school Leeds United fans hate. They hate when players start to become a brand. But Calvin Phillips now is putting on every picture KP23. his posts are very generic now. You know, thank you for my team and all of this stuff now. You know, he's becoming very very PR centered now. He's becoming one of those England players now. But also, it's people like us as well, man. Not us in particular, but other people that are in a creative space that they say they want to be different from mainstream media, yet they just regurgitate what mainstream media say. So that then says to me that you really don't know what you're talking about, and you only watch your own team or whatever it is because you're talking crap. This notion as well that we were good for the COVID happening, we had won 5 about 5 clean sheets. Someone explained that to me. Why we'd be glad about that? People are just talking rubbish, and whether it's because it's Bielsa, whether it's because it's Leeds fans can be very, very annoying too. It might be a mix of all three, but just some of the people that I kind of held in high regard when it comes to their opinion just sounded very generic over the weekend and in tweets and stuff, and it was like, man, you guys, I thought you knew your stuff, but you really don't.
What are you making of this, James, bro? Because obviously, like, you've got a manager. It's a mad one with Klopp, because I feel like the more that Klopp wins, the more they're gonna start to dislike him, innit? At the beginning, like, Klopp's just super likable, innit? Even I like him, and I'm supposed to hate this guy. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's like, even when Liverpool lost the cup final and he's out drinking with the fans, I'm like, how can you not fucking like this guy?
That's what I'm saying, lads. It's like everything that he brings into the club. Like, and this is what I think. I think if the fans like him, and I don't mean just like him, but love him, then that's all that matters. Because these journalists, knobheads, by the way, these are the ones who are coming in, and these are the ones who try. They make a story, don't they? So they build up the hero, and then they like that hero to be knocked down because it creates another story. So with Jurgen Klopp, he hasn't had too much negativity since joining Liverpool. Like, obviously, when you take over the Liverpool job, that's always going to bring pressure. That's always going to bring headlines. But that being said, like, with the 2 finals that Jurgen Klopp got to, and don't get me wrong, I weren't saying this was a great boss season, but I did say it was an improvement on what we've been seeing, because before we weren't even getting close to finals, and there was some journalists trying to make out like the story was Klopp is not going to take Liverpool where they need to be, because at that time Liverpool were hungry for trophies. So these journalists and that, mate, you said it yourself, they don't hold Leeds in the regard, but they hold Leeds in a higher regard when it comes to talking about where they should be and, you know, where they should be competing and what teams they should be competing with. But at the same time, you've got to make sure that you look at this, look at the perspective of, well, if you're going to do that, then you've got to give their manager respect. So you're here slating their manager, but you've got to give him respect. He's done well with Leeds. Leeds were in the Championship and they were a comfortable Premier League club. That's now been evident since they've come up. And even when we played them on the opening day of the season, I didn't feel like I was facing someone who was newly promoted. And I'm not even trying to blow smoke up Leeds. That's just how it felt. They came with quality. They came with a setup. They came with hunger as well. And they've even got that now. Don't get me wrong, the West Ham game is not a good result for them. But at the same time, they're not coming to the Premier League to win every game. If Leeds got a mid-table finish this season between, like, I don't know, 13th and 8th, do you know how fantastic that is for a newly promoted team for the whole season to come in and just mate, we're going to insert ourselves into this league and then that's it. Bielsa deserves his respect. If you want to say that he doesn't deserve to be in the Coaching of the Year award, that's fair enough. I'm not saying that's not how I feel. Maybe I'd have to proper think about it. But at the same time, you've got to remember how you talk about him then. Because he's exceeding the way everyone talks about Leeds.
Yeah, and James, just piggybacking off your journalist thing there, and this is another thing that people love to believe in themselves, that they have their own opinions. They don't. They wait until a big journalist or someone on TV tells them it's okay to think this way, and then you can go that way. I've been saying for a while that there's a few players that need to be, you know, eventually moved out as we look to build on where we want to be. All of a sudden, because a couple of journalists say it now, everyone's all of a sudden can see everything now, but they couldn't see it before. Now you got to stick with this team. You got us promoted. That don't wash with me. You got us promoted, but there's teams that when they get promoted, those players are gone because the club realize they're not going to be good enough for the next step. And that's what I'm saying. There's just so many sheep out there that just follow the bloody piper when it comes to opinions. If their favorite journalist or their favorite pundit said something, all of a sudden they're always on board. It's weird to me. It's a weird mentality for me Because I watch a game and I see a man of the match performance, and then somebody else comes with another man of the match. I'm like, well, I didn't really notice him, but maybe that's just me. You know what I mean? But these people just follow the opinion of the most popular person.
Brother, you know the maddest thing about Bielsa, yeah? They say, oh, Bielsa don't speak English. Bro, are you kidding me, bro? That's what they said about Pochettino. Like I keep
That's
telling
what he
people,
wants you
yeah?
to think.
Pochettino, yeah? Pochettino spoke English at Southampton, but had an interpreter the whole time because he didn't want to deal with the press.
Yeah.
You know
Same
what
with Bielsa. Same with Bielsa. He can speak English because he corrects his translator if he hasn't translated it properly. So he knows
Yeah.
he just finds it easier to talk with a translator. There's
And
no
also,
issue.
it means,
you know what I mean?
it means that he doesn't have to deal with stupid questions, bro. Because
Fair
when
play to him,
when
I say.
everything's being translated, the interviews are a lot quicker. Because there's certain
Yeah,
questions that man can't ask them because they don't translate well, and it gets faffy, bro. Like Pochettino was told by Tottenham that he has to conduct his interviews in English. What man think that Pochettino learned how to speak English in 6 weeks? Fucking
Yeah.
Rosetta Stone, are you taking the piss? Like the geezer
and
spoke English the whole time. He just didn't want to. Same with Martial.
Yeah.
Like people think
And-
he doesn't speak English. He's speaking English to Rashford and all these men all the time. And he comes to an interview and he's like,
yeah.
so fuck you lot, innit? Like I just can't be asked, bro.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing with Aguero too. But on that thing, you know, Bielsa was asked last week if he's going to name his 11. He did so, which he did many times in the Championship, by the way. Like, this is nothing new to us, but obviously, if you only watch the Premier League, you won't know about that. There's people talking about, is he playing a game of gamesmanship here? He's always just figured, I can name my 11. It doesn't matter if you know it or not. It's up to you to either stop it or it's up to my 11 just to be ready for whatever you're going to throw at us. That's the only way he looks at it. But everyone was trying to twist it around, make it like, oh, he thinks he's doing something big here by naming his 11. He's done it for the last 3 years. But he says now going forward, he won't be doing it now in the Premier League. So there is that.
This guy said he thinks this leads his history why they're picking on Bielsa. But the funny thing is, yeah, you've just got to look at Bielsa's CV, bro. Like, I feel like a lot of these pundits, they don't even know where he's been. They're that ignorant. Do you know what I mean? Because they talk about him like he's some run-of-the-mill manager. Yeah. Like, this guy is literally, like, he could be managing in the top 4 in the Premier League quite comfortably. Yeah,
easily.
And he's 65 years old as well, bro. So he's in that Sir Alex Ferguson territory, yeah? And he's chosen to not only go to a championship team, but then when he didn't get promotion the same time, he could have said, yeah, you know what? I don't fancy this. The guy stayed, persevered, breezed the league, come up, and he's turning teams over. And these guys are somehow going on like it's a mistake and he's overrated and he doesn't deserve the praise. And they're almost looking for any reason to discredit the guy. And it's like the guy's CV is mad, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. But going on to the next game, I just want to say we better beat Newcastle, man. I cannot accept it if they do not beat Newcastle, because Newcastle, if we play the way that we play, they shouldn't be able to even touch us. Not with how pedestrian and slow they are. So for me, they have to win that game.
How are you feeling about that? You lot have to turn Newcastle over, surely.
Yeah, man. For me, see, when you come up to the Premier League and I'm looking at the league, Newcastle, yeah, big club and everything, but their players aren't all that, and the way that they play isn't all that attractive either. So it's not even about attractive. I'm talking about effective. They do enough just to stay up. You know what I mean? They do enough just to stay here.
If you can neutralise Callum Wilson, then you've stopped a big part of their team, because he's a big part of their 11.
But this is exactly what I'm saying, James. Callum Wilson, we should not be worried about him. You know what I mean? He shouldn't be a problem for us at home. So for me, these guys have got to respond on Wednesday and get the win. These men made me look stupid, man. I went on West Ham TV and said we're 3-1. I come out with egg on my face, man. Just embarrassed me, you know.
It's hella mad, bro. Liverpool. What is it with Liverpool when they go a goal behind, bruv?
Why do we have to talk about Liverpool, lads? Like,
no, but honestly, because I've been speaking to Liverpool fans, and they're like, "Yo, when we go a goal behind, it just feels like a different match."
I don't know. I'll probably have to gain some memory on certain games to put a pattern together. But that being said, that was poor, mate. That was really poor. And I'm not one of them people to jump on anything, but there's been a weird sort of conflict between Liverpool fans this week. Obviously, people know that Liverpool fans and Klopp himself has been screaming about the injury crisis from the rooftops, and we've been talking about the schedule, and we're obviously making it clear that it isn't just us, it's just obviously with the fact we're being most impacted, we're speaking on it a little bit quicker. That being said, we have a Champions League game midweek, and I'm only going to touch on it briefly, but we have the chance in that Champions League game to completely rest everyone. There's a rule in the Champions League where you can use all your youth academy players. You can, they don't have to be a part in the first team. They can be in the Champions League. And I said, we are through. Not only are we through, we're first. Let's use every not even just second choice player, every academy player that we can, and give the boys a rest. And then Jurgen Klopp goes out. He starts Fabinho. He starts Trent, who fair enough just came back from injury and needed minutes. But I'll get on to the point in a minute. He starts Fabinho, he starts Trent, he starts Salah, and he starts Jota. Jota plays 87 minutes of that game. It's not even the fact he starts 87 minutes of that game in a game that he doesn't need to play. Listen, I find it very hard to pick out negatives for Jurgen Klopp, but you are allowed to correct him, man, when you feel like he's wrong, especially if you were saying it beforehand. If you're going to give him the praise for all the good that he does, and I need to say this because Liverpool fans get it twisted when I do. If you're allowed to give him the praise when he does all these miracles, you're very much certainly allowed to give him the negatives when even you saw it. So Jota for 87 minutes, Salah for a full game. You bring off Divock Origi, who plays no games, and you bring him off after 55 to 60 minutes. No, that's not acceptable in a game like that, a game that you don't need to go out. And bear in mind, for Midtjylland, that's a big game. They're guaranteed fourth, but that's their last game in the Champions League for God knows how long. They're playing Liverpool at home. They've got stadium in the fans. Fans in the stadium. And you've got their players in the 45th minute kicking the living shit out of ours because it's a big game for them. It's not for us. People were saying, but the training, so they can get injured in training. No, this is a big game for them. It's going to be more intense. So the reason why I bring that up is because now we've got Jota out for the next 6 to 8 weeks, who could have been a massive impact on that Fulham game, and he didn't need to play against Midtjylland. Salah, again, he came out of that game unscathed, but you can't be that naive. And you also, this is where Jurgen Klopp unfortunately comes across as a hypocrite. You're coming out in interviews saying, I need a rest. I need a rest. I want 5 subs. I need a rest. And the thing is, I haven't disagreed with Klopp to that point, but then you've got a freebie against Midtjylland, and you're starting some of your better players. How come you're finishing that game with Bobby Firmino, Salah and Mane? That game finished with that front three. It's ridiculous. There you go, bro. I was just thinking, them players shouldn't have been on the plane. They should have been at home with their feet up. That's what I was saying. So when it got to that Fulham game, there was a lot of that heat going into it. And as for the game itself, first 60 minutes, we were very, very poor, and Fulham were really up for it. And you could see that they was, but you've just got to remember, we're the champions. We're the champions. We're going there. And not only this, we were the last game of the whole Premier League weekend. The last out of all the big teams, should I say. Chelsea have played, lost. Tottenham have played, drew. Man United and Man City, who aren't in the title race, but they are at this point, they are. Everyone is. So
jeez, blood gang business. You know them way there when one. You know them way there, fam. Come on, G. Shout out everyone inside. You know that gang business. You know them way there.
Now we're talking business, people.
Hey, nah. Come on, G. Get me ranting. No, my bad, fam. Nah, give me 2 minutes, blood. I'm just saying hi. Allow me, bro. Nah, you know, I gotta go still. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna see you soon, bro. Liverpool, Tottenham, blood. Let's go. US, man. Shout out, crazy gang business, blood.
Yeah, man. True, safe. Bro.
Yes, expressions. I'm not gonna lie, Rants, lads. I was creating a point until your brother came there. Nah, the point that I was making is, Chelsea played before us. Tottenham played before us, drop points. Chelsea drop points. Man United and Man City, 2 teams who were supposedly entering into that title race, drop points. We're the last game to play against Fulham, and you play like that. It's not acceptable when you're a team that's going for the to be the Premier League champions, and you need to be aware of the circumstances you're under. You need to be aware you've got a big game against Tottenham on Wednesday. That's a must-win against Fulham. No questions asked, no doubt about it. They're 16th. You're going for a league title. 2 points dropped is unacceptable. So,
Facts.
all that being said, mate, it was a terrible weekend for Liverpool. And don't get me wrong, this is where I don't want Liverpool fans to get it twisted again. I still think Jurgen's the best manager in the world. And I have to say this, Rants, because people seem to just think I'm really going in on my manager. It's not even that. But if I can notice it, then Jurgen should have noticed it. And the fact that we've lost now arguably our most informed attacker in a game that we didn't need to lose him in, it just kind of speaks volumes. So yeah,
James,
but this is why. 1 second, bro. This is why you know, this is what I love about Klopp, because he's blatantly in the mud, but he's taken this whole opportunity to just Pam Wilder, bro. Like, you know, that's how he's just a fucking bully. I love it. Because sometimes it's just one of the Klopp's just like, who the fuck do you think you're speaking to? So now every opportunity Klopp gets here, he's just got his foot on his neck. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind that though. Like, Klopp's clearly rattled in it because he's thinking, you know what, this is fucked, yo. Like, I'm under a lot of pressure considering like we are probably going to cruise this league season. Let's be honest, if Liverpool didn't get injuries, they're cruising this Premier League.
Without even any bias aside, I really do feel it would have been that way. Even
they're cruising it.
Still in the conversation now with all these injuries, it's definitely up for debate.
They're cruising it, mate. They're cruising it. They probably win it by 15, 20 points, if they don't get these injuries. And then they're at a point now. And then they're at a point now where it's a lot more close than it should be. And he's thinking, fuck this. Do you know what I'm saying? And then obviously the substitutions, they make sense. But then it's the same with Ollie. Ollie made the same thing, saying, oh, you got us playing on a Wednesday and then a Saturday, 12 o'clock, and then a Tuesday. But then he'll go into a game and make one sub. And then it's like, well, like, what are you fucking complaining about? Do you know what I'm saying? What Klopp done was inexcusable for me. Like, Midtjylland, you're meant to play your kids and beat them.
It's the fact there's nothing to play for, Rants. In fact, you probably benefit slightly more from getting the kids out there. You really, really do in some senses, because there's been a lot of good news coming out of our youth academy. I keep up with it quite regularly. The under-23s are doing really well. There's some really good young prospects, and they're seeing people like Curtis Jones getting a real chance, and other players getting a real chance in the first team, Nico Williams, Kelleher, and they're thinking, I want to take that chance. That would have been a great game to just even get an eye for some of them. We've got some this lad called Jay Kane, 17, young baller, can pass the ball fantastically. It would have been great to see him in a game against Midtjylland. And even if we got beat, it doesn't matter. And also, I get to go to sleep knowing that I've still got Jota fit and firing for Sunday. I've got Salah, Mane, all these. They've just had a nice rest. Even Mane is really out of form at this second. He's been out of form for a good few games now. He started the season blistering, but recently he's just looked a bit fatigued. And I don't want to give the easy excuse of fatigue, but he does. You can see that he's putting everything into a game. But you know, like when a player just misses that little bit of sharpness in a game, that's what Mane's just lacking right now, which gets him over the line. So there's quite a few players in that position as well. The only player who I can really say, you know, kind of got through that Fulham game and could hold the heads up high after it is Alisson, because he kept us in the game. Fulham should have been quite clear in the first half, to be dead honest. And Henderson, without him, the team would have capitulated. So all that being said, it just weren't good enough. And then Jurgen Klopp's put his foot in it as well with everything that he done against Midtjylland. And that's one thing I can say, even throughout his tenure at Liverpool, this is the greatest Premier League manager we've had by a country mile, by the way, but his substitutions are questionable sometimes, very questionable. And if I can
but even from your first season, they've been questionable. My biggest criticism of Klopp when he first came in was his in-game management, because I remember when you just missed out on the Premier League, I remember there was a game, I want to say it was against West Brom, where you needed to win, and I think he made some stupid changes.
Was it where we missed the league by a point?
Yes.
Yeah,
so and I think that was the game. I think he brought on Mo Salah because Mo Salah was chasing a golden boot or something.
Here's the thing. So that season we had the City game, which we lost, and then the two games that we dropped points after that, and these were the only two, was Everton and Leicester. But maybe I'm incorrect, and maybe there was one more. But in them games, especially Leicester, from my memory, that was a big example of poor management mid-game, and especially in a game which we needed to win, because City kept winning. We needed to keep winning. So, and obviously at the end of the season, that ends up being a big factor. So
this is it. And yo, KG, you're gonna say something. You had a point to make. Do you still remember it?
It's just with James. I know what he's talking about in there, where you rate your manager, and but there is always faults there, and you can point them out. But the thing is, you always feel that you need to make a caveat in order to make that. You always have to say, "No, I love this guy. He's changed. But we love him
annoying.
so much." But you should be able to question, because I'm sure even when Man United were riding high and they sold Yap Stamp like 10 million, I'm sure they were questioning that too. There's always going to be negatives with it. It's never a smooth ride. So I'll just say that, man. I know that you feel like you have to make the caveat, because I know you guys are very passionate. Oh, and by the way, I want to go into something in the game. There was 3 incidents, right? Okay, your penalty was a penalty. I'll give you that one. What are you saying about the one where Fabinho and Caballero?
Well, what are you saying? What do you think of that first off? Because I've heard a few.
I will say this in regards to that incident, and also there was something else, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a few moments. Listen, mate, when a Liverpool game takes place now, there's VAR left, right, there's decisions left, right to be made. So,
what I'll say is that I think Klopp has gotten into not only the referee and the VAR, the commentators' heads too, because it was very heavily influenced in Liverpool's favour. And what I mean by that, and like you, I'm going to make it out here. When you're a bigger club, you are going to always have a little bias towards you. And that's in every sport. It's not just football. I love LeBron. I love LeBron James. When it's claimed that he's getting the call on the court, it's because it's true. And when he doesn't, he'll come out, and the Lakers will come out and say, "Yo, how did LeBron only get 6 calls in this game?" And then you'll see the next game there'll be enough calls for LeBron. So So what I'm saying there is, if that Fabinho and Caballero is at the other end, I think it's given.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that as a flippant fan where they say, "Oh, if it's Liverpool, give it." I genuinely believe if Salah's getting clipped over like that, you're probably getting a penalty for that. What say you?
Yeah, I agree with you, lads. I really agree. Like KG, and the reason why I asked you first is because I can just come on and say what I want, and then people can just be biased. But I agree with you, lads. I think that's a fair enough assessment, and it has been a weird one this season. And in that game, you could kind of just tell going into it. I even said, like if Fulham do get something here, and actually I think Fulham played really well, and I actually think they probably deserve more than Liverpool overall out of that game. But that being said, I did say if Fulham were to get anything, a big part of that was probably going to be certain decisions, going. But thankfully it went for us a little bit.
Yeah.
And, Salah got the penalty, and I didn't think it was a great penalty, don't get me wrong, but he took it. It went in the net, and I was just thinking, thank God for that, mate, because a loss to Fulham would have been tragic. A draw's bad enough, but a loss would have been tragic, mate. So thankfully that just slipped under his arm.
Liverpool fans, Man United fans, all you big clubs, you should be proud when you get in calls that are a little bit iffy, because when you're the champion, even in boxing, you don't let it go to the judges if you're a challenger, because it's going to go to them. It's just the way it is in sports, but the thing is, I don't know why football fans get so offended when people say, "Oh, you only got that because you're Liverpool." Yes, you're the champion, so you might get more of a benefit of the doubt than, say, a little old Fulham. I don't know what is so hard to understand.
But a lot of the time, we haven't been given the benefit of the doubt. A lot of the time this season, and I'm not trying to jump on anything, but it's like we've been like Liverpool's the supposed saying this season. It's gone against us more. Liverpool fans would rather it gone right now. I'm one of them. And it's not the VAR itself; it's the people controlling it, of course. But if you gave me the option VAR or no VAR, give me no VAR, because it gives me a bit more to think. Like if a goal's given, it's a goal, mate. Like even if we find out it's wrong, at least we got that moment, and it's a bit of laughter for later. It doesn't mean it's right. You look at the Maradona goal years back, the hands of God, and that was being perfect to have VAR there. That being said, there's a lot of moments being taken away, and this season it's just so many. No, wait, no. Why is it doing that again? Like,
you know what it is, James?
Times.
You know what it is as well, James, is that referees, the people behind VAR are human beings, so they're not blind. They would have saw Klopp going at that BT commentator. The people in VAR, they said, "Nah, you know what? You go and look at the screen, man. We don't want this one." And then he's looked at it like this, like, I don't, nah. He didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? And also on the point of your penalty claim, it was a penalty, but he couldn't wait to give it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
But this is the thing, like what people need to understand with officiating, there's always human error, and there's always there's natural human bias in it. There's certain players, if they go down in the box, the ref's either going to give it or not give it. Do you know what I mean? Like certain players have reputations for going down too easily. So when they do get fouled, refs booking them for diving when they're being fouled. We've seen it many times. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's little things like that. It's just like when referees make a mistake, a lot of the time they always look to try and flip and balance it out. You know what I mean? And that's why you see, like, when there's a challenge, they don't give a yellow card for. The next challenge, they're just giving a booking, even if it's not a booking. You see these things. It's human nature to do that. So, like you said in boxing, you have to beat the champion, bro. You have to beat the champion. You can't go there, and it's if it's a 50-50 fight, you lost. Do you know what I mean? Even if it's a 60-40 fight, you lost. You have to knock man out, bro. Like, Wilder knocked Fury twice, but they couldn't give Fury the belt because he got knocked down twice, bro. You have to go and beat the champion, bro. And this is what it is with the big teams as well. If you're a small team, if you don't go and beat this team, and you're sitting back trying to hit them on the break and stuff like that, when you do get fouled in the box, you're probably not going to get the pen. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. If you've had 20% possession and you go down in the box, they're going to think these lot are getting pammed. You're not getting it. Like, this is above. That's why United used to get the rub of the green a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? That's why bigger clubs get the rub of the green. And that's why you see all footballers that play for the bottom team say, oh, you know what? When you're at the bottom, everything goes against you. It doesn't go against you. It's just that not much goes for you, bruv. That's just all it is. It doesn't really go against you. It's just that it's not going for you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fortune favors the brave, blood. The teams that are on top, that are doing the most, tend to get the most luck in it. There's no conspiracy about it. There's no enough. That's just how it is, bro. When you're playing well, you get decisions. When you're playing shit, a lot of the time you just don't get the decisions, bro.
Yeah, and also think about Jose Mourinho at the minute. You know, when before Tottenham were first, he was talking about, oh, we're not going to get this. We're only Tottenham. It's gamesmanship. He's getting into the officials' heads. It's all a game. Sir Alex was he was the best at doing it. You know what I mean? This is what they do when they're at the top.
Complete facts, man. You know what I'm saying? And flipping, obviously, tier 3 now. No fans in London now. I'm not sure. What was it? Well, Leeds was tier 3 anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah. They're talking about them going into tier 2, apparently, but I don't know.
I don't know, man. That might just keep Arteta in the job, because I'm sure the fans would have been booing him, so he'll be flipping relieved, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's just one of them ones like, you get these fuckers out of here, bro. You know that is mad.
Oh, if you're Arteta now, mate.
These men, bro, you gotta love Arsenal, bro. I swear. Every single time their fans think they're out of the mud, I swear they just get dragged back in quick time.
It's worse this season. It's worse though.
Yeah.
It's worse. Like, the only issue about Arsenal right now is like, because October goes by and the 15th, it's like, all right, next month. November, and you're still there, and it's just like, soon Mikel Arteta, he's just won us an FA Cup, we'll be all right, boys, come on. Not Aubameyang, he's just signed a new contract, he's going to start scoring soon. And then, November, and then December, Aubameyang does finally get a goal, but it's an own goal. Like, it's just mad right now if it's Arsenal, mate.
And he just got fed up. He said, fuck it, I'm scoring today. Regardless, you know what I mean? He said that fucking goal, have some of that. You know what I mean? He's just fed up, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? He had to end the goal time, bro. Class is permanent, bro. At least he knows where the goal is. You know what I mean? At least he knows where it is still. Because bro, we were doubting him, We were doubting him. Has he forgotten where the goal is? Clearly not. And that's the most important thing. If you're striking where the goal is, it's only a matter of time. You know what I mean? So
it's only a matter of time.
They are absolutely.
You know what the thing is as well with the Arsenal as well. The fans before, you know who we talk about, the regulars. They really didn't think that they were going to lose to Burnley. So that's why when they were asked, would you sack Mikel? Would you sack Mikel after the Burnley game? They said no. Because they really thought it was going to turn around on Sunday, and he lost. And it's like, he can't continue. He can't continue.
Now they've got, what's the running fixtures? They've got Everton somewhere in there. They've got Southampton is the next game. Then it's Everton.
Yeah.
They've got.
And they got you lot soon.
Us.
KG.
Oh.
When do you play Arsenal?
In February, man. We got him again.
Yeah, you should have beat Arsenal, shouldn't you?
Yeah, we should have.
You should have just beat them. But
we've got bloody Arsenal. I know we've got Leeds soon, for fuck's sake, bro. I'm not looking forward to it.
I'm so happy we got used out of the way, KG. I'm made up. We just got used out of the way. Just move them. Let's get them now while they're just getting into the league. Do you know what I mean? But with Arsenal. It's mad because now they've just lost to Burnley, which, like you said, it was a must-win, and like even their fans going into the game were saying, "No, this isn't a problem. It's Burnley. They're actually below us. There's not many teams that are below us, but they're actually below us." Next thing you know, they get beat 1-0, and now it's a bit of a different situation where now they've got like the next 4 games are huge. So, I mean, boys, just to ask you, just to throw out a question, and maybe this is very stupid, but does Mikel Arteta surpass them 4 games? Does he make it out of them next 4 games? Because you've got Southampton in that conversation, Everton, City somewhere in there, Chelsea ends up getting into that fixture list. What are you saying?
Bruv, honestly, because that club's so shameless, yeah, I believe he could. Do you know what I'm saying? I believe he could because it's the club. Because of the club, and also, like it or not, this Premier League race is a bit mad, bro. As shit as Arsenal are, yeah. Like everything's so tight in there, bro. You go on a run of 3 wins, and all of a sudden, yeah, you've leapfrogged about 5-6 teams.
It's weird.
It's so weird right now, bro. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like United, yeah, we've got our worst home form, yeah, in the Premier League for like 60 odd years, and we're like ahead of City, bruv.
We're 16th in the away league table, like, you know, like away from home. We're 16th in terms of form.
And I think we must be near the top, bro, because our away form's been decent, bro. Like, you know what I mean? But our home form's been trash. You see what I mean? So this season is fucked, bro. Like, don't be surprised if something mad happens, yeah, this season, but it's actually nuts.
It's also like with whoever gets relegated, though, they could be getting relegated with like the highest point tally a team's ever been relegated with, because the league is all that close. So
it's so condensed,
we could be seeing like 18th, just about scraping it, but they could have like 40 points or whatever. I haven't done the maths, but it'll be crazy to see, because it is just much closer in all aspects of the table.
You know what the question you're asking about Arteta, though. I mean, the players are coming out on Instagram and just publicly bantering the guy. You know, Saliba, Guendouzi, and you know, these are current players that they've got as well. I know Guendouzi's out on loan.
What are they saying? Because I saw something on Instagram and I touched on this with Turkish, and I said to him, and also Lee Gunner, I said, Arteta manages with a certain level of arrogance that he hasn't earned yet in the game. Do you know what I mean? And I think he rubs up a lot of players the wrong way. Do you know what I mean? And I think the way he did treat Guendouzi, even though I think Guendouzi is clearly a little gobshite anyway, but I think
what he's had to their midfield right now.
Well, there you go. But because of the way he's kind of set his stall out to kind of manage the way Pep manages, like if I don't fancy you, you're out the club or you're in the reserves and that. And sometimes, when you're coming into a threadbare squad like Arsenal anyway, sometimes you got to humble yourself a little bit and say, you know what? I need to work with this for now, until I get the players I want. But he's come in and just said, fuck you, you can fuck off, you can do this, you're not playing. Their informed players were getting benched. You know what I mean? And he was so fixated on doing things his own way that I think he sabotaged himself. You know what I mean? And I think that's what David Moyes done at United. Instead of coming in and humbling yourself and saying, you know what, gonna keep a few of the backroom staff and this, that, and that. He came in and was like, yeah, everyone fuck off, I'm bringing in my own people, bro. You got Everton people, bro, in Manchester United. And you expect Man United players that have won shit to respect you. Like, that was never going to work out, bro. And I think that Arteta, I think he's changed too much too soon, innit? And I think that the harmony's been fucked at that club. And I honestly think that ultimately he's the one who's gonna fall on his own sword, bro. I can't see him getting out of this alive. I can't.
But it's also in terms of how people say he's favourites, because when Pepe got sent off against us, he just flat out said he's let down the club and everything. Xhaka got sent off yesterday for grabbing up a man, and he said, yeah, it's unacceptable, but it's just with the wrong over the edge of passion, you know, whatever it is. He said, paraphrasing. He give him a little caveat there where he didn't give Pepe, and this is what people are talking about with him. He's obviously got his favourites. He's got no Xhaka now for the next 3 games. He's got no Bellerin for the next one. So he's going to have to give Maitland-Niles or maybe Cedric a start or something.
Which will probably be better because Bellerin's been
probably terrible. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's what the Arsenal fans can't understand. He says non-negotiables and all these things. You play well, you're in, but it's clear that's not the case.
Yeah, that's right. And another thing as well, it's everything about Arsenal. So what, they get rid of Mikel Arteta, and then what next, mate? You bring in another manager who's got to deal with the same bunch of shit, a bunch of unmotivated players. Some of them who are clearly not good enough to play at the level of where Arsenal needs or want to be. And on top of that, when you look at all of this, it's like Arteta actually got something out of these players. I know he's not now, but he did at the start, and it's like now it's gone. And again, Rants, you're completely right. Who does he think? It's like a manager. Like, Carlo Ancelotti at Everton, he can actually go into that team and he can look at every single one of them players. He can show him his medals and he can be like, this is what you're aspiring to do. He can actually show them the vision. He was like, oh yeah, by the way, I got these. Mikel Arteta's walking in with medals that Pep gave him. It's like Aubameyang and stuff like that. Like, how do you expect these players to be motivated to a certain level when Mikel Arteta is clearly coming in with this certain aura around him, or at least this self-believed aura, and he's influencing it on players, and clearly it's not rubbing off on them the right way. And there's a lot of things about Arsenal, like even just like above the managerial point of view. So what if they bring in a new manager who's classed? Are they going to come in? Like, look at Unai Emery, he's gone back to Spain and he's smashing it.
Yeah.
With Villarreal. So it's just, what if it's beyond that? What if Mikel Arteta isn't the problem? What if he is this good young manager that we all just don't know about? But at the same time, they are playing debatable football as well on the pitch.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's
horrible. Do you know what I'm saying? With him, there's no excuse for the shite that he's putting people through.
That's
even
true.
The neutrals, bro. Arsenal at very best, or at very least, used to be entertaining to watch. Now they're an absolute embarrassment.
Now I'm thinking of them as a Burnley, me lads, every time when I'm seeing.
Bro, at least Burnley's football's effective. Arsenal's isn't even effective. Bro. Do you see what I mean? Like, what I'm witnessing from them right now is the worst football they've probably played in about 30 odd years. And then on top of that, the manager has clearly pissed off somebody senior in the dressing room. Clearly. We don't know who this is, but he's definitely lost that dressing room. You know what I mean? He's definitely lost it, bro. If he ever had it. If he ever had it. You know what I mean? Even that's debatable. But the thing is, even Ollie Dunn said a similar thing when he came in. He was like, he said, I'm going to be successful here, yeah? And there's a few people here that aren't going to be here or some shit. And I was like, bro, you ain't never been successful in your career. That's a bold shout. You know, like that. Like, if you're one of those players, you're thinking, hold on a minute, bro. Like, sit down a little bit. Like, you're going to be successful at Manchester United, bro. You've won fuck all in your career. You won a league title at Mulder, yeah? They won the league title literally the year you left, bro. Like, it is what it is. You've done nothing in the game, bro. I just think that when you're starting up here, and especially if you've had the luck, because that's what it is, and the good fortune to manage at the top level straight away, humble yourself, innit? He's come in and he's gonna buy it all the wrong way. Mikel Arteta was a good footballer. He wasn't Zidane. No. He was just a good Premier League footballer. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he's an Everton legend. He's an
Everton legend. But I mean, would you say Danny Murphy's a Liverpool legend? Because for me, Danny Murphy was a good player. So was Arteta. Do you know what I'm saying? I think Danny Murphy was as good as he was, to be honest. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Mikel Arteta was amazing, bro. Danny Murphy was very effective. He scored past United a lot, taking a piss out. Do you know what I mean? Fucking loved playing us, mate. So when I think of Arteta, I think of Danny Murphy, bro. Like, served the club well, scored some good goals, good player. This geezer's walking around fucking Arsenal, like he's Patrick Vieira.
That's what I mean. Like, what has he even got to show as a player? even when he was at Arsenal, he won a couple of FA Cups and what else? Like, it's not a true dominance. Like, you know, like if Zinedine Zidane comes into a Real Madrid, he's probably one of the only ex-players who can walk into that stature of a club and the players still look at him like, wow, that's Zinedine Zidane there. Whereas, like, you see Aubameyang and Lacazette chilling, and then they're looking this way, and they just see Mikel Arteta walk through the door, and it's like, yes, brother, if you sign for us again, you need to lower on the bench, fella. You know what I mean, lads? It's it's like, oh, wait, you're our manager now. Oh, sweet.
That's what I mean. And they're saying he fell out with David Luiz. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, David Luiz punched Ceballos, who's Spanish, so maybe Ceballos is flipping Team Arteta, and David Luiz just chinned him, bruv. Maybe that's what happened. Do you know what I mean? We don't even know, but the fact is he's definitely lost a section of that changing room, because when your team are publicly making fun of the situation at the club, with with totally no regard for getting fined, what you're gonna do, what you're gonna say, bro, the changing room is gone, in it. And when you lose a changing room at a big football club, I've never seen a manager win yet. Never seen it. I've never seen it, bro. It's only gonna end one way. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, with Arsenal, I can't even imagine what they were thinking going from Freddie Ljungberg to Mikel Arteta anyway.
It's mad, isn't it? Like, you do think, like, is that really the biggest upgrade that you can get? But it's like Arsenal have lost all of their morals. Like, I'm surprised. I remember the situation with Granit Xhaka, and it's like, I'm surprised they even got past that, because I don't think an Arsenal of old would have accepted that from a player, especially at that level.
Yeah,
Granit Xhaka's an okay player.
Who was the manager with Xhaka? Was it Ljungberg?
When that situation happened?
Yeah, because he basically told the fans to fuck off, yeah, which was a lot worse than what Guendouzi did.
No, that was Emery. That was Emery, wasn't it? It was Emery against Palace. Yeah, it was against Palace.
He should have probably never played again, really.
So we're talking about Arteta's judgment. It's like, so you're choosing him to be one of your main players. Is that really good judgment? I don't know if it is, because even me, I have got no experience in assistant managing, let alone managing, mate, even coaching. But I'd know if I went into a club, I'd be keeping one eye on Granit. I'd be like, listen, mate, I know that you can move snaky like that, and I don't want these fans to be having to put up with players like you, because clearly you bring just negative energy to the club. And if Mikel Arteta is choosing him as one of his favourites, like you said, Guendouzi did not nowhere near as bad as that. And I know it was under different tutelage. I know Unai Emery was the manager at that time, but you've still got to keep an eye open on that. And Guendouzi's younger. In fact, how about you as a manager? At least attempt, because he didn't even really attempt. He didn't attempt to be a man manager. Try and talk to him. He didn't try.
Well, James, Guendouzi did that thing at Brighton under Arteta, but that's what Arteta was talking about in terms of punishment and everything else like that. And he set the precedent there. But then Willian's gone over to Dubai. Willian's played in every game since. That's what people are talking about, the inconsistencies in his messages. So, and you got to think as well of Ozil being left out. That's Aubameyang's boy. Aubameyang's not happy with that. Aubameyang and Lacazette are tight. Lacazette always knows he's coming off after 60 minutes when he plays. They're guiding Saliba, who is said to be the 27 million next best thing. He's completely out of the squad. There's a whole chain of broken links here. And it's all linked to one person in terms of the coach. And the reason why they got that coach, and I said it to Lee Gunner, they wanted someone they could control. They wanted a puppet. Because he's saying that it was his choice to take out Ozil. It was never his choice. It was the boards.
But then he's contradicted himself and come out and say that he feels sorry for him.
Yeah,
he's just a puppet, man. He's saying that he was going to get back in the summer. He's happy with the business. He was never happy with that business. He's just very grateful to be there, I think. And I think that's why when James asked, do you think you'll be sacked? I just don't know. Because if you're a big club, you're not accepting where Arsenal are. But do they want somebody? They were never going to get someone like Jose Mourinho who's going to say, "Oh, I need this. I need a Højbjerg. I need a Regulon." It's never gonna happen. And just like Jose Mourinho went in that Tottenham thing, we saw it a bit on Amazon Prime. I'm sure it happened off camera too. He's going into Tottenham, he's saying, "Well, I've won a few things. You know what I'm saying? So if you follow me, I can take you places." Mikel Arteta couldn't say that to Aubameyang. It's that simple.
So, KG, do you think that Arsenal have fell behind in the pecking order, in the sense that now they're going for managers in a day and age where really you have to take the approach like a Jose Mourinho was taking? Do you think now then Arsenal, not just a Mikel Arteta, but just everything, Kroenke, everything above that, do you think now they're fell behind in that sense and they're trying to look for a manager to be like an Arsene Wenger type and, they'll just bring the success to you? Do you think that's what's going on there?
Yeah, they want somebody who is just going to be like you just said. There, Arsene Wenger. Look how much that guy protected. He had people believing that they needed to sell a player every year. Tottenham approved do not need to sell a new player every year because you've got a new stadium. But every year that one of their best players was going, and they just accepted it because they thought that was the price of success. Tottenham proved that is just not true. And also with stories that have come out from Arsenal, like Van Persie and everyone else like that. They've proved that's not true either. It's just a lack of... I think they were so happy with that top four finish that they got comfortable and they were just kept getting it. And now they've dropped out. They kind of don't know what to do next.
Yeah, I think
I don't know if their owners really care. We'll see what happens after Arteta. Let's see what manager comes in after Arteta. Are you getting somebody who's a strong-willed person like Ancelotti, like a Jose Mourinho? Or is it going to be another young guy that you're going to hope just hits the ground running and it works out for you? Because this one, it hasn't worked.
They need to go get the Southampton manager if they're smart. If they're smart, I'd break the bank for him. Like I would pay what I'd pay for a football player for him. Do you know what I mean? Because I think he can.
Do you think he would go?
He's
quality. Do you think he would go?
He would go.
Do you think
He would go.
Yeah.
He would go, bro. Like, bro, at the end of the day, yeah, it's amazing on his CV. I'd say Leipzig and Arsenal are similar level in terms of, obviously not in terms of what they've won or whatever, but in terms of in football where they are in it. But he would have a bigger budget, and I think it would be brilliant for them. To be honest, I think they need someone that's gonna have a game plan that's going to improve players, because they're not going to break the bank, especially after that Pepe thing, bro. People said Arsenal don't spend money. They're never going to spend it again after that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because, bro, their Arsenal's track record with spending big money, yeah, and getting results is horrendous, bro.
It's terrible,
you know
man.
I mean?
Terrible.
New contract for Aubameyang, missing. New contract for Ozil, missing. Do you know what I'm saying? And spend big money on Pepe, missing. It's like every time they spend more than 12 million, it's a flop. So I think they just need to buy someone that's just gonna go out there and just literally make these current players play better, because they're never gonna be a club that's gonna spend a lot of money, and also they're not very attractive. Let's be honest, they're not very attractive.
No, they're not attractive at all. They're really not. The football they play is some of the ugliest football that you can watch, and it's just it doesn't identify itself with Arsenal, and Arsenal haven't been this absolute beaten force for the past 15 years. They haven't, mate. They've been just getting top four, and they've been staying there as a big six club. But it's like now everything is starting to crack and unfold there, and I feel like you're starting to see a demise of a club that it was inevitable that this was all going to happen. And you talk about a new manager. I think that manager would be fantastic at Arsenal if he was backed. And I don't think he'd get fully backed.
Yeah.
And that being said,
million for Lacazette.
Which, they paid a lot of money for.
Bro,
Lacazette.
Stop buying players. Just stop in it.
Tough.
Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know.
They need to get an Edwards. They need to get an Edwards. We sold Dominic Solanke, and now we sold Ryan Brewster for half that price.
It's mad, isn't it?
You guys are criminal with this, man.
Oh,
you
yeah, we steal.
Man. Oh, man.
Where that advert on telly where it's like it's a scam. The lady on the phone, it's a scam. That one, where that's Michael Edwards sells Ryan Brewster. Sold Dominic Solanke for 20 mil to Bournemouth, mate. We've had some lovely little bargains. Get on this. Jordan Ive, 15 to 20 million. Ben Tejo, we bought him for 30, sold him for 30.
The goalkeeper. Danny Ward.
Yeah. Danny Ward, he ain't even like...
I'm sure, the Liverpool director of football just has a burner phone, and when he rips people up, he just dashes it in the bin and gets another one. No one's got his number, you know. No one's got man's number. As soon as the thing goes in, smash the phone, burn his clothes. Next thing, bro, it's a crime scene. Every time people do a deal, it's flipping it, brother. It never works out for the other team. Like
the next, that's it. And the next thing for Edwards to do is actually get a transfer fee for Adrian. That's his next mission, because Adrian, throughout his whole career, has never been sold for a fee. He's always been sold for free. Well, not sold, but let go for free to his clubs. So if Edwards can just sell Adrian, even if it's for a tenner, he's done something that no one else has ever done.
Bro. Hey, James, I got something for you on the transfer scene as we talk about Liverpool, because I rate this defender a lot, man, and he's being mentioned a lot more lately now because his performances are just growing now, and a few of your fans are kind of scouting him now because you've kind of used this club before as a fee system. But what you saying about a stopgap in Yannick Vestergaard for Liverpool? Would you accept that?
Yeah, man.
Love that guy.
Are you mad? Of course, I'm taking Vestergaard. Yeah, he is a class centre back, and he's a proper
centre back. This is what they think Harry Maguire is, isn't it?
On top of his attributes, not only his attributes, he's reliable. He's there, and that's what we need right now. We need a commanding centre back who's got the attributes, who will come into that team with confidence, by the way, and he will say, and he will actually be there, because Joel Matip, mate, Pringles on steroids. When he plays, he's brilliant, but he snaps so easily. It's crazy, mate. He even hurt his back in the game against Fulham. You can't rely on him for 3 games a week. Nat Phillips and Reece Williams, good young players, good promising players. But when you're talking about a Vestergaard, that's when you change your team from what is already a league challenging team to one that will leave that race, will completely just forget about everyone else, because you're improving the squad depth. And Vestergaard in your squad depth is serious.
Yeah. And this is it for Vestergaard, because I've had this conversation with somebody before, and they seem to think his age is a hindrance. Bro, 28 is perfect for a club like Liverpool. You want them ready-made. You don't need something to mold. You need someone to come in. That's a 5-year contract, and you're happy with it, because what he is, Yeah, but because look at how Vestergaard plays as well. He's a big guy, but he's got nice feet, man. He dribble it. I know it's on Sheffield United, but that don't discount that because he's been doing it in other games. He was dribbling with the ball and putting through balls to his strikers.
And that's what Liverpool needs. That's what Liverpool could do with, in terms of being a creative team. They could do with a centre-back, because that's what Van Dijk can do. He's very good with his feet, and you can see him doing really good passes. And it's like, wow, he's not just good at defending, he's good at all these other aspects as well. And if you can get someone who can basically mirror that, and not only mirror that, but learn off someone who's been in his position. He's come from Southampton to Liverpool in the stage where he wants to be entering those prime years. It'd be a match made in heaven. And if he can play in form under a great manager, to be fair, and under a great system in Southampton, then of course he's going to come into a Liverpool team under Jurgen Klopp. He'll batter up in that back line.
Yeah, and this is on Rance's point as well, because Hasselhouten, when Vestergaard first came in, he wasn't all that. He was a bit shaky, but obviously this coach now has told him and got him playing to the strengths of his game. And it looks like it's an all-round game to me, because whenever I see him, he just impresses me every single time. But what the people in the comments think, and people that are watching the replay, let me know. Do you think Vestergaard is what I'm making him out to be? Because I think that the guy's just absolute quality. Like,
it's probably one of the more overlooked centre-backs. It's actually a very good mention, you know, KG, because Liverpool fans, when we think of transfer targets, because obviously we want to get a centre-back, I don't think Liverpool are going to get one, but I do think we need one. And people are mentioning Ben White, and people are mentioning, Konate from Leipzig and Upamecano. But it's like, why are you overlooking really good Premier League proven players like a Vestergaard, who's doing it under a very good coach? He's only gone from a very good coach to another one. He's already got the foundation.
In England, they love a highlight reel, innit? That's what they like.
Southampton's our B team as well. I hate to say it.
they love a highlight reel in this country. They like last-ditch sliding tackles. They like flipping big commanding headers. You know what I'm saying? They love that in England. They don't like nice cultured defenders that actually just flipping defend, innit? They want to see highlights. They want to see Harry Maguire flipping, headlocking guys and heading it away. And do you know what I mean? All these things. That's bollocks, mate. The thing is, the way Southampton play a lot of the time, the real top centre-halves, it looks like they don't have much to do. That's how you know they're good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's how you know real centre-halves are good, bro. It looks like they have nothing to do. And everything they do it so calmly that you think, oh, yeah, he's had a quiet game. But really, he hasn't. He's bossed it, mate.
Yeah.
You know? We see it all the time, bro. And with top centre-halves, you really see them scampering and making last-ditch challenges and running, trying to tug people back and shit. They're usually a step ahead. So usually the centre-backs that we're not talking about are the ones that we should really be praising, because if your team's got a good defensive record and no one's fucking talking about you, the chances are you're doing a good job, innit?
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. Everyone just likes the defenders that are fighting for their life every game.
But it's like, if you can make it look easy, then doesn't that just make you all the more a better centre-back? Because that's what fans like.
And the thing is with Vestergaard as well, he's good at set pieces in the air. He'll get you a goal.
Yeah.
And when Ward-Prowse isn't playing, he takes free kicks. The guy is just...
He sounds a lot like Van Dijk. He sounds a lot like Van Dijk. Van Dijk can take a free kick. He actually can, like Van Dijk for Celtic. But when you talk about Southampton, I just think, I look at Danny Ings now, and I look at the way he's just been terrorising up for Southampton since he's got there, mate. And I just think to myself, like, when Danny Ings first joined Liverpool, I got that excited. I literally went to the Liverpool shop and I got Ings on the back of my shirt, because he was our new number 9 at the time as well. And I was like, trust me, like, I know he's just coming from Burnley and people aren't going to think he's that serious. He's a proper striker. And obviously injuries made sure it didn't work out for him. But to see that under a good coach in Southampton, to see the player he's become, I'm actually made up that I was in a sense proven right, not for the club that I wanted, because I actually think Danny Ings would be starting above Firmino if he stayed fit. I think he was that good as a striker, mate. I just think he had an eye for goal. He was hungry, and you could see how much it meant for him to actually play for Liverpool. Does that make sense? Like when a player joins your club,
absolutely,
and you just see it's an honour for them. It's an honour to be there. That's what it was like with Danny Ings. And then to see him go to Southampton, become the main man, and become, well, to prove to everyone what we were all kind of thinking, like, could he score 20 goals a season? Yes, he can do it. And under a good coach, he's done it to another level. He's been their main man, Danny Ings, mate. I'm so happy that even though we took all these players off Southampton, like literally like a lot of their big boys, we went, you know what, here's a nice little one back for you, mate. There you go.
Danny Ings was doing it in the Championship. I mean, obviously I saw that up close, and you could just see that he could move up a level, no problem, man.
even in his first Premier League season for Burnley, he was solid for them, man. I think he got like around 12, 13 goals. But in that team, in terms of the way Burnley played at the time as well, and Burnley were quite yo-yo-y. I actually think they went down that season, which led to him leaving. But that he could still get a goal out of nothing, and that's why I liked Danny Ings. And I was thinking, get him in the Liverpool team around decent players at the time. It improves the player, and now you can see under a good system, he's a lethal striker.
Absolutely. Big up everyone inside. 1.1k in here. Before we wrap up, European fixtures, everyone's asking. Obviously, there's some big ones. Obviously, PSG Barcelona was fixed. We know that. Do you know what I mean? But we see every flipping season, don't we? Like, I feel like these men are just contracted to play each other every year.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm sure when they were talking about some of the like they have different temperatures or something like that for the teams, and they can touch them and know who's who. I feel like this is real, bro, because this is getting ridiculous now, isn't it? It's actually getting laughable now. Some of the stuff.
I always raise an eyebrow to then your UEFA choices. Sometimes I just think it's a weirdly run thing, mate. I don't trust it.
That's what I mean. How are you feeling about you lots? You lot got RB, didn't you?
Leipzig. I'll take Leipzig, mate. I'm not saying they're an easy opposition by any means. I know they cause problems, but in terms of, especially when you consider the time of the game, hopefully we're going to have more players back available by then, like Jota will be back and stuff. But in terms of the way both teams play, even though I
think they're tailor-made for you, mate. That high line. I think you're going to.
This is what I was going to say. This is what the way they play. They're going to try and match Liverpool offensively, and when teams try and do that, it doesn't usually end well for them, especially when we're on it. So I think across two legs as well. With the fact it's two legs, I think Liverpool across two legs they're up there with the best sides that can do it across two legs. If you're not going to say they're the best, so I think like that Leipzig should be a clean. It's one of the better teams we could have got. In terms of the way they play and in terms of the other teams that could have matched up against. I'm just glad we never got Atletico Madrid. I think that was every Liverpool fan. I think we were just saying, don't give us Atletico Madrid or like Bayern Munich. Anyone else will kind of just deal with in due course, but Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid, leave them in their lane. When I saw it was Leipzig, I was like, we can actually score against them. We can get goals past them and we can break them down and create mistakes for them. So very confident for them in the round of 16. We should get to the quarterfinals in that. But I want to know what you think. And maybe you could brush this over. But I just thought it could be a bit of a problem for them. Mönchengladbach and Man City. And I know that's a random fixture that I've brought up, but I just think Mönchengladbach, I've saw bits of them this season. I'm not saying they're serious, but they look more serious than usual.
They do. And their manager's getting a lot of plaudits as well.
Their manager's getting a lot of plaudits. People are just going to write them off.
Yeah, they're talking their manager into some real big conversations. Do you know what I mean? Marco Rose at the moment. And bro, if he does Pep over, I think that his stock's going through the roof. Whew. Do you know what I mean? Because you know what football's like, yeah? It's 99% propaganda, innit? Like, if people, like, the truth, it doesn't matter about the truth. It's what everyone's saying it is, innit? If everyone's saying this guy's the business, yeah, and then he beats Pep, all of a sudden he's linked with the City job. Like, this is literally what happens, innit? I think that even though Pep signed a new deal, I think he's on his last legs, bro. I think the performance City put in against United, who have one of the worst defensive records in the Premier League, was not Pep-esque at all. Pep did not want to lose that game. I've never seen Pep look so flipping conservative in my life. Ever. I've never seen him play for a draw in my life. I've never seen it. And that's showing me the beginning of the end for him as the manager that we once knew him as. Do you know what I mean? He's not a pragmatic coach. He never has been. So I genuinely think that Mönchengladbach, I think is a 50-50 game.
True. It's a lot closer than what people will give Mönchengladbach credit for. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I do think they've been showing really good signs this season.
That's what I mean. And he's saying Lampard to get exposed by Simeone. This is going to be...
That's going to be insane.
This is going to let me know if Chelsea have improved defensively as much as these clean sheets lead us to believe in it. Because Simeone is going to stink the place out, bro. You see the one thing about Atletico Madrid, you see when they attack with so much purpose. Do you know what I'm saying? So it'd be very interesting to see where Lampard's really at. If he gets past Simeone, bro, that's when you have to say, you know what? Cool, innit? Like, I have to take him seriously. But right now, I just think that he's a bum, innit? I do. Genuinely. He's a bum with a big wallet in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't you think he's overachieved for what he's done so far though at Chelsea?
I don't think he's overachieved with the players he's got. Players are brilliant, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you think that he should be gelled together that quick? Like, did you expect, like, not what Chelsea should be doing, but did you expect Chelsea to be, and listen, mate, I hate Chelsea, but do you expect them to be where they are now? Because I didn't. I really didn't. I'm not going to lie.
Honestly, when I saw all the players that they bought, I thought they have to be. Even though I didn't expect it. I'm like, if you do anything less than that, you're underachieving anyway. Come on. Do you know what I mean? You've gone out and signed Timo Werner, who was tipped as one of the best players in Germany. So was Kai Havertz. You signed one of the best players in Holland, if not the best player in Holland.
He's on a FIFA transfer window, didn't he? He's on a FIFA transfer window.
You signed one of the best players in the flipping Uber Eats League history, in Thiago Silva. Do you know what I mean? You ain't signed no scrubs, you know. Like, you signed loads of players with credentials, innit? And
a new goalie as well. New goalie.
A new goalie. And I tell you what, see the thing about good players, they have a very, very good knack of being able to play with good players. Yeah. Good players can play with good players. There's only so much coaching that you need, innit? So I get it, but at the top level, having good players isn't enough. You know why? Because everyone's got good players. So this is why the Champions League is going to show us exactly where Lampard is. If he comes past this test, then I have to start respecting him, as a football manager. But if he gets annihilated by Simeone, I wouldn't be surprised.
No shame. With the threat that Atletico Madrid have got as well, João Felix, Luis Suarez, Diego Costa to come off the bench and maybe make it a saucy little problem. That's box office. As far as football games go, that's box office, and I'm tuning in for that one if they're not kicking off at the same time as Liverpool. I can tell you that for free.
That's what I'm saying.
Rants, I was gonna that on the screen there. I was gonna mention that Rants. I was gonna mention that has been the Dortmund job.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. 1.1k in here still. Smash the like button. Get us over 500 likes at least, guys. And obviously, last but not least, flipping United. Cool. Got Sociedad. I'm not gonna lie. On paper, we should beat them, but paper don't play football matches. I tell people all the time, innit? They're top of La Liga, innit? They're top of La Liga, and even though Barcelona are the worst Barcelona I've seen in my life, you've still got I think they've only. I feel like they've only either lost one game this season or they haven't lost a game this season.
Well, this is new news to me. Sociedad are at the top of La Liga.
Yeah, David Silva went there and he's doing bits there, bro.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. But top of La Liga.
They've only lost one game, bro. They're top.
Oh, Rants, I'm updating your chances, you know. Nah, like, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. The only thing, that I kind of think, styles make fights, innit? And I think the high-paced counter-attack of United could just be more than they're used to dealing with in patient build-up Spanish football. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that we could just blow them away just because of our power, not because of anything pretty we do. We just hit them with a breakaway goal, Marcus Rashford, bro. Like, I could just see something like that happening, innit?
It's like they're the wrestler, you're the jiu-jitsu master, and you're just going to catch them as they come in and they get their head under your arm.
That's what I'm saying. Just tap them out, bro. Like, that's just what it's going to be. I think that they're going to have a lot of possession, which would favor us anyway. You know what I'm saying? Have a high line, centre-backs on the halfway line, trying to push us back, pretty much similar to what Leipzig done, and we just hit them on the break. Do you know what I'm saying? And just absolutely just sucker punch the life out of them. I could see it happening, innit? Like, as much as if we lost, everyone will say, all right, cool, top of La Liga, you're meant to lose. But I genuinely think, that the way these guys play football, is probably tailor-made for us. I'd rather play a Spanish team, that play that kind of tempo of football than play against someone that's a bit more aggressive, like some of these German teams.
Yeah.
The German teams are a lot less passive. They'll press you, they'll attack you. These Spanish teams ain't going to play at the same tempo.
That's it. It's not as clear cut, is it? So, like, just because they're top of La Liga and Man United are wherever they are in the Prem, it's not as clear cut as that. What it really is that one thing I think that's being established is English teams or English football has kind of dominated the European scene for a while. I know none of the teams made it to the Champions League final last year, but look at the year before, all English finals, and it's like English teams do have a tendency to do well and go far in these competitions, and I think that's been established over the past few years. So I do think you're right in the sense that it's not just Man United who, let's say at the time, they're fourth in the league and Sociedad are still first. It's not just that. It's like, no, this team who's coming from England, which there's a very high level of football, are coming to meet with a team which in their league It's not as strong as it usually is. Barcelona are not. The team that we're known for them being Real Madrid, same, Atletico Madrid, are just kind of there and thereabouts anyway. So when you do put it in that perspective, it's like, and with Man United, even though they don't play great week in, week out, they do have a tendency to pull out a result. They have they just can, and that's something that gets you over the line. And you know, when you talk about a Europa League trophy, they're the type of results that get you over the line and that get you into the next round, and they're the ones that you need and are very important. So on a one-off game or even across 2 legs, there is a massive chance Man United can get this done. But at the same time, when you tell me that the first, that's just made it all the more of a saucy game for when it gets to it.
Yeah, but also it tells you how crazy football is in this COVID year, because all the leaders of the top 5 leagues are in the Europa League currently. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is wild. And that tells you that something's not quite right in the football atmosphere right now. Do you know what I'm saying? So honestly, I don't care what they're doing in that league. I expect my team to beat them. It's that simple. I couldn't care less, bro. You've got Adnan Januzaj playing for you. You know what I'm saying? I forgot about that. You know the ones you got. Bro, he's playing for your flipping team. If Adnan Januzaj can play for you, we're better than you. We should beat you, innit? There's no excuses. If we lose that game, I'm asking serious questions. Serious questions, bro. Because any team that Adnan Januzaj is sourcing for, get in the bin, innit? I don't care. Get in the bin. And it's that simple. So United, they need to do what the hell they need to do, innit? And if they don't do it, bruv, I don't expect to see that manager there. I don't expect to see that manager there. I said, Oli got a semi and that. It's true, bruv. He loves the semi-final, bruv. Lost 3 last.
Is Adnan doing bits this season?
Apparently so.
Well, then people get clipping that up, get it ready for when the game comes, and Adnan lays a smacker down on the Manchester United arse.
He's gonna do nothing, bro.
He'll do nothing. Yeah, he'll do fucking nothing. That's the show that he's coming on.
Right, bro. I'm not underestimating Sociedad. I just don't care about them, bro. I'm gonna be 100%. Like, a lot of you football fans are forgetting who the fuck we are. Yeah, we're not great now, yeah, but bruv, like, my team don't play with any arrogance. They don't move with no arrogance. If you're telling me that Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, and all these lot are looking at fucking Adnan Januzaj and his mates and saying, oh, you know what, guys? Nah, fuck them. That's what I say. Fuck them, bro. If they beat us, so what, bro? You know what I mean? Ollie out, bro, even more. But, bruv, we should fucking turn them over. I don't care. It's Adnan Januzaj, bro.
To be fair,
game facing FIFA, bro.
Do you know what's mad? Do you like the way Iago Aspas has since he left Liverpool, he's become quite a baller and he's made a name for himself in the European scene. Like, if I was to see Iago Aspas now and we were playing against him, I'm not gonna be. Yeah, I would. Yeah. I'd be like, I remember that corner that you took, lad. You're not a good footballer. Remember that corner that he took in 13-14? Disgrace. It was the worst corner that you'll ever see in your life. After you've watched this, type in Iago Aspas, Liverpool corner, it'll come up first clip. 9 seconds. 9 seconds of disgracefulness. Oh, it was mad. Iago Aspas, when he left the club, I was so happy because he came in and he was supposed to be this new dominating number 9. He was terrible. So even though he has actually done well since leaving, same with players like Luis Alberto at Lazio.
Canute was smashing up the fucking La Liga as well, and Diego Forlan, bro. I've seen a lot of scrubs go over there and do well. Do you know what I mean? Like Adnan Januzaj was pumping footballs at Man United, and now you want me to be scared of him? You can piss off. I'm not having it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not having it. Do you know what I mean? So United need to go there and just turn these men over. Like, I'm not even trying to hear. I don't care where they are in the league. I don't care who they are in the league, bro. Their best player on their team, yeah, is finished, bro. You know what I mean? This isn't Barcelona that on their day, Lionel Messi, bro. They got fucking David Silva, great footballer, but guess what, mate? He's like 40. I'm not trying to have it. We're meant to turn these men over. If we don't turn them over, bruv, man need to ask some serious questions, innit? That's it. I can't. You have to respect all your opposition, but honestly, we're Manchester United, bro. Like, fuck them. That's just the way I see it, innit? As soon as I heard Adnan Januzaj, I switched the fuck off, me. Fuck him, bro. I mean, this is how it is. So we're gonna see what happens, but I'm not trying to hear this Januzaj bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to hear it at all, man. So big up everyone inside. Smash the like. Make sure you follow the man. Then click the link in the title. I think James is doing something with my brother now, innit? A preview or something.
Yeah. We're gonna be doing something along those lines. Preview combined 11.
Liverpool Spurs combined 11. So make sure you go over and watch that. That's gonna be fucking funny, bro.
That's gonna be good. That's gonna be
Listen,
good.
lads, I'm going to be defending my players, so it's going to be.
That's
It's going to be ready for war. Yeah, it's going to be ready for war. Nah, but I mean, there might even be ones that a few neutrals pop up and be like, "Whoa, James, are you even putting him in there?" Yes, I am putting him in there.
Yeah,
So,
I knew you were
you
gonna do some of that shit.
Listen,
you know
mate.
what I'm saying, bro? You change your handle to deluded scouser and that, but it's fine.
Listen, Rants, I don't know where you've got that perception of why I should change my name to that, because when I come on here,
gang, bro, slap your Ollie out emotes in the chat. Twitch gang, Ollie out. We want to see the energy, bro. Look at that emotes, gangster. That's what I'm saying, bro. Come on,
All
bro.
legends here, lads.
Just before we go, if the I've got a question, yeah.
Yeah.
If the Euros start tomorrow, who starts? Reece James or Trent?
Trent
will on reputation, not on performance. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, not of performance, but you can do that at any time during the season, can't you? You can be like, oh yeah, he's not playing well right now, so we'll go with him. Yeah, but Trent, obviously, he's got the credit in the bank, KG. You're mad.
He does have the credit in the bank. That's one thing he does have. He does have. Do you know what I mean?
Nice
he
goal,
does have that, but. Boy, I don't know. Credit runs out, B. That's all I know.
Hey, but he's got a lot of time to fill a lot more credit in the bank. Do you know what I'm saying? People forget he's only, 21? He's making me look like a worthless piece of shite, mate. So, fair play to him.
Fair play. Do you know what I mean? Big up everyone inside. Make sure you follow the boys. Make sure you look out for the combined 11 as well. Do you know what I'm saying? And yo, guys, what is it? I don't know. Like, Dapo ain't text me back. I think he's hiding. I'm not going to lie. We're meant to be back. We're meant to be back. 10 o'clock, bro. He ain't replied to me, bro. I don't know what's happening, bro. I don't know what's happening. I can't even lie, bro. Dapo's missing, bro. He might be on suicide watch. I'm gonna have to go find him, bro. But he posted on Twitter, so I know he's alive. You know them, man. You see these guys, bro. Dapo's in tier 3 already. Just self-isolating, bro. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna find him and I'm dragging him here. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're meant to be back at 10 p.m. Do you know what I'm saying? I think he's blue ticked, man, as well, but it's fine. You know what I'm saying? The harassment will continue. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. He might be popping up on that yogurt, bruv. You know the ones, because it's gonna be a long night for him. So 10 o'clock, we're meant to be back here, innit? If we're not, it's because Dapo bottled it. You know what I'm saying? But we're meant to be back here at 10 p.m. So man, we'll see you lot then, innit? Make sure you log in. Check out the combined 11. Check out KG's channel. Smash the like button before you leave. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully we'll see you at 10 o'clock for some child abuse. That's what's going to be going on, bro. All child line people, I'm telling you, bro. Child services. You know, it's about to go down at 10 o'clock, bro. Catch you